Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics as Non-Classics. This is episode number 1637 and Doubleshot number 1531. Now, I was never just planning on doing this today, but I got two more books in today, so why the heck not? Alright, first up, we have a finale. Yes, we have the third and final trade for Patsy Walker, A.K.A. Hellcat. This one's called Careless, Whiskers. This collects issues 13 to 17. And yes, this is the end of this trade series. Yep, this is the end. Written by Careless. Artwork by Brittany L. Williams. Who, from what I can tell, was the artist for pretty much this whole run. Yep. Yeah, and the cover artwork was mostly by her for pretty much all the issues of this book, except for issue 15. That's on by Elsa Carrito and Tamara Pavilion. Mostly put for these issues, we have a couple of different things going on here. First of which, we have stuff going with the Black Cat, who has become pretty much a recurring villain throughout the rest of the series. Because, of course, Marvel had to keep her a villain despite the fact readers had no desire for her to act like this. Excuse me. We also have one of Patsy's ex-husband, her first ex-husband, the Mad Dog. Yeah, he's here. At one point, he asked somebody out and then basically becomes sort of brainwashed by Black Cat. Yeah, and also at one point, Patsy gets stabbed and then she gets stitched back together by Jubilee, who is a vampire. Yep. By the way, her son is mentioned here a couple times. Does not make an appearance. Shogo does not make an appearance in this whole book, which is kind of weird. And toward the end of the book, basically, she reunites with She-Hulk. Yes, she reunites with She-Hulk. This, of course, comes like several months after the events of Civil War II, though it's mostly not exactly the one that's explored in Margaret Tamakagi's run for She-Hulk, for her She-Hulk run. It's more like the stuff that came before Civil War II. It's more like a dreamscape type of thing, but it's a very interesting way to end this series. After only 17 issues, it's an okay ending to this series. I found this series to be pretty fun. But I'm going to give this book here I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's an okay ending to the series, per se. Final thoughts on Patsy Walker, A.K.A. Hellcat. Yeah, for a series that started in 2015, ended just a little over a year later, it's not that bad of a title. I heard one YouTuber who didn't want to pick up the series because of the kiddies' art style. I personally didn't have a problem with this. Not at all. Here's a fun fact for you about the first two volumes of this thing. I picked these up as a discount at Books A Million. This one I picked up, I think it was, if I remember correctly, I think I got this at a comic shop when I was in, I think it was one I got in San Diego, still got in their shell. But, you have to get out of these. And, yeah, that's the entire series. The entire 3-volume series. If anyone wants to take these series, take your trays off my hands and review them, go right ahead. It's a pretty good series. Alright, next up is a book that my friend Tivia has done a review of this book before, and he's not a fan of this book. I think the book is actually pretty exciting. This is Ultimate Comics, New Ultimates, Thor, Reborn! This contains the entire 5-issue series that is Ultimate Comics, New Ultimates. I say 5 issues because this was an ongoing series. The first issue was released in March of, I think it was 2009, or 2010, I think it was, yeah. March 2010. That's when the first issue released. Issue 2 comes out in May, 2 months later. And then there were 2 months pass by. Third issue comes out in July. And you know what's really weird? Issue 4 comes out in October, 3 months later. And then the final issue, readers had to wait 4 months for the next issue release. 4 months. Now, to my knowledge, I don't know what was the reason for the delays at all. This, of course, is Jeff Loeb's last book into the Ultimate Universe type of thing. Because the only book I have reviewed of his in the Ultimate Universe was Ultimates 3. And it's interesting, though, he writes the main team. Even though that his Ultimates 3 is widely considered to be one of his weakest books he's ever done. I would say the worst book he ever did was Ultimatum, which this book takes place 8 months after that. Yes. Now, you might be curious, was another book he worked on after this? Well, yes. He did work on one other book after this, aside from this book, and that was Ultimate Comics X. And that focused on the character Jimmy Hudson. One of 2 series he got for himself. The other, of course, was Ultimate Comics Wolverine, which I have read that. That is really good, and Jeff Loeb does not write it at all. Now, in this book, there's basically the new Ultimates. It's comprised of Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. The Iron Man is in the War Machine armor for some reason. Yeah, here's the weird thing, though. War Machine armor and no War Machine. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Hawkeye is here, except he's still wearing that. Well, on the cover here, you can see he's wearing the outfit he normally wears, but he's still wearing that mask from the Ultimates 3. We also have still Valkyrie on the team, who has been on the team since Ultimates 3. Let's see. We also have people joining the team. We also have Kazar, Shauna, Black Panther, and Zatanna from the Supreme Power Universe. And you're thinking, wait, what the heck is going on? Why is someone from a different universe on the Ultimates? Well, there is kind of an explanation for that. That is due to Ultimate Power, a book I am going to review at some point. Book that went through 3 different writers and had one artist on it, Greg Land. Yes, he, along with Loeb, are responsible for bringing her to this universe. By the way, at the end of this book, she goes back to the Supreme Power Universe. And then next time we see her, she dies. She gets killed off by Jonathan Hickman during his run for New Avengers. Yes. So, in the very first issue, we have it where, get this is what happened. We have Hawkeye and Iron Man just sitting on the roof, just relaxing. Hawkeye thinking about his son, who just turned 8. And, of course, Iron Man in the War Machine attire. I think it's War Machine, even though he's not called War Machine, but it's a War Machine suit. They're just basically chilling for a bit. And then they're attacked by the Defenders. And you're thinking, wait, why the heck are Defenders here? Now, this group is comprised of Black Knight, Luke Cage, Damian Hellstrom, A.K.A. Son of Satan, Hellcat, even though she's redesigned to be Tigra. Yes, frickin' Tigra. Oh, by the way, Kazar and... Well, actually, Thor is not technically on this team at this point. Basically, his place is taken up by, of course, if I remember correctly, I think his place was taken by frickin' Valkyrie. Now, that is Dave Finch's artwork. Yes, that is Dave Finch's artwork. Why the heck it's here? Well, it just represents the Ultimates per se, but why the heck is Dave Finch artwork in here? I have no idea. So they're relaxing, and then, of course, Hawkeye pulls his gun on the Defenders, which you have Black Knight, Hellcat, Nighthawk, Son of Satan, Power Man. Now, Hellcat, yeah, this is supposed to be Hellcat, despite the fact this looks like Tigra. Yes, for some reason, Frank Cho, the artist, thought Hellcat was Tigra of the Ultimate Universe. Yes, despite the fact there was a Tigra show later by a different writer. I think it was Sam Humphries who brought her in. Damian Hellstrom, yeah, that's him as Son of Satan. That's mostly accurately depicted in the regular universe. Also, Luke Cage has got this. He's basically, the way they designed Luke Cage here, he reminds you of Jax from the Mortal Kombat series. I'm not kidding about that. Black Knight, for some reason, has got an axe and a frickin' sword. Nighthawk, well, at least he got a redesign from that ridiculous attire. Now, I should point out, though, this is their third ever appearance in the Ultimate Universe. Why do I say that? Because they didn't make a brief appearance between this and their only appearance to date, which was Ultimates 2, number 6. They appeared in the Ultimates Annual, the very first one. This is the third appearance. They appeared in the first issue, issue 3 and 5, and that is it for Defenders of the Ultimate Universe. Yes, roughly 5 appearances over the course of 4 years. Yes, 4 years, 5 appearances. And this is how you treat basically a team that's got a good amount, got basically a cult fan base. Treat the ultimate version of this group. Now, Jeff Loeb is not responsible for creating this group. Well, this version, in ways, that that person got point to blame at bringing the old Defenders in this universe on Mark Millar and Brian Hitch. Jeff Lowe and Frank Cho have nothing to do with Defenders. They basically remade them into kind of like an evil version of the 616 one. Yes. So they fight them, and then of course they have these two fight them for a while, and then they're attacked and they're joined battle by Captain America, Valkyrie, and Zatanna. That's Zadara, A.K.A. the Power Princess. And look, I mean, this is supposed to be, look at my fingers. This guy, big bulk guy here, that's supposed to be Luke Cage. Yes, despite the fact he looks like Jax from Mortal Kombat, like I said before. So they fight him briefly. They also mention here about the events of Ultimate War. Quicksilver, he died during an event. Wanda in Ultimate 3. And then you see Thor being freaking awesome. He just beat a bunch of warriors. And he really wants to go home. And he really wants to go with Valkyrie. And Hela's like, okay, I'll do that for you. But you have to do something for me. And Thor is like, what do you want me to do? She wants him to have sex with her in order to give her a baby boy. Yep. And he's like, okay. My perspective, like, I'm in. Yeah, Hela's hot. I mean, this is Hela in the Ultiverse. Though here's the weird thing, though. In Ultimatum, she's like 7 feet tall. Here, she's like a normal height. I'm thinking, what the heck is up with the perspective of Hela in the Ultiverse? Yeah. It's kind of weird. Now, I do appreciate, though, that her headdress is similar to the 616 version, but she's more revealing than 616 version. 616 version is more covered up because half her body is decayed. Yes. So, by the way, Kazar is a celebrity. And you have, that Son of Satan is an Age of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's why I think it's never brought up before. He appears once after this in issue 3 and then 5, and that's it. So, you see Tony Stark and Carol Danvers, who, by the way, at this point is director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And you're thinking, wait, where's Nick Fury? Where is he in all this? Well, he's off in Ultimate Comics Avengers, where he's put in charge of a Black Ops team where, at this point in time, at the start of this book, they were dealing with the debut of the ult version of the Red Skull. Yes. By the way, the Ultimates are based out of the Triskelion again, thanks to agreement with the government. Also, Tony Stark mentioned here that he lost some of his money thanks to the events of Ultimatum. He's not broke per se. He also said he lost his house, and that's the reason why they went back to the Triskelion. And you have Cap basically just, and of course you see, yeah, it's so obvious though that first you see that Tony Stark and Carol Danvers are arguing. You have Steve basically a bit nervous around Zadara, and then of course he walks off. You have Black Panther, Kazar, and Shauna Shida were just, and then all of a sudden we have Loki and Amor the Enchantress show up. Yes. By the way, this comic is her debut. Yep. This issue right here is the debut. She appears throughout this volume, and basically and they bring up a bunch of freaking trolls with them. And then here's something really weird. Okay, you have Tony talking about show like, that was nice. And there's a beautiful woman in his bed. Who is this beautiful woman? Carol Danvers. Yes, the first issue ends with this. Like, they're a couple? So, Carol Danvers and Tony Stark are a couple. And here's a fun fact for you. After this book wraps up, this relationship is never mentioned again. No, seriously. Like, the book that came right after this one, which was New Ultimates versus, it was Avengers versus New Ultimates. This relationship is never brought up at all. Not really. It's completely forgotten about. Plus, I love the fact issue 2 opens up with basically a homage to the old World War I poster with Uncle Sam, with Captain America pointing, I want you gone. And Valkyrie's like, no, and then they start fighting. Of course, they go off. And you have Amor basically manipulating the Ultimates against each other. And then you have freaking Kazar trying to take out a freaking dragon. Like, wow, this is so freaking awesome. And you're like, ooh, yeah. It's like, gotta keep this secret. And Barton's like, oh, crap. And here you have Carol Danvers, who, by the way, has not zipped up the front of her suit. She's still exposed to her cleavage. And and Barton, and of course you have her saying, "Ever heard of knocking, Barton?" And Barton's telling Tony Stark, "Can't you keep your pants zipped for 5 minutes?" And with Danvers, the Ice Queen, Carol Danvers, Ice Queen. That is not something I would associate with Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers is hot, and she's one of my favorite female superheroes of Marvel Comics. But man, Ice Queen? I would associate that with Emma Frost, not freaking Carol Danvers. And of course, he has Tony Stark saying, "But out, Clint. What do I do in my private life is your business." Fine, it's like I told you before. I don't work for her. Yeah, I work for that. Yeah, for some reason, Loeb decided to have Hawkeye swear. And you snorkeling her is the last show. Mission's over. I quit. And he doesn't. Well, not really. And then you have Carol Danvers just being confronted by a Enchantress. Now, in case you're curious, though, now, prior to this book, in the 606 universe, has Carol Danvers ever met the Enchantress? No, not to my knowledge. They didn't meet until the events of Empire. Actually, it was War of the Realms. It wasn't until, like, get this, 8 years after this event wrapped up, after this book wrapped up, that they showed up. So, puts her gun down, and you probably think, ooh, a more manipulating Carol Danvers. Like, I would not be surprised if a panel, a more basically, like, any person can know Carol Danvers is hot. Like, I'm sure even the more probably realizes that because she's beautiful too because she's a goddess. She'd be like, I want a piece of you. Come in this room with me. I would not be surprised though if she did that. And then, of course, you have Valkyrie witnessing. You have Valkyrie just looking at the harbor and looking at the water, and then she sees Thor having sex with Hela. And she takes up a sword, and then you see the Ultimates battling trolls in Central Park. It's so awesome. And you say, ooh, sire, I put them. Thank you. Sorry about that. My mic basically kind of went off for some reason. And then you have the ladies shooting against the Ultimates. Like, oh yeah, we won. I guess it was versus Lady Liberators. Yeah, flashbacks to the time of the Defenders when they were powerless. And apparently Valkyrie is really interested in Thor. So later on they do mate. And apparently Shauna is not affected by Amor at all. Probably because Amor didn't know she was even there. So they freed her, and they have the Giant Man come about. Yes, the Giant Man. And Hela, and of course you have Loki having Mjolnir. And apparently, like, okay, so Thor's like, I've already slept with you. I fell on these back. I just kind of leave. Like, apparently but you're about to kill her, basically, kind of a little word. And then apparently, despite the fact that they only slept together just one night before, Hela's pregnant. And he's like, what? How is this possible? It was the only thing just last night, like, Valhalla is a place that gets with the page at a time. How long you've been battling the army of Zed before you grow tired? Days, weeks, decades. Very minute you pass your beloved Earth. You might be here for hundreds of years. Okay, they could explain it. Of course, Tony's taking his armor fixed. And of course, everybody's a hunky-dory. And of course, you have everybody just called to arms. You have Black Panther and like Kazar with freaking machine guns. By the way, Black Panther in here, apparently he does not speak in the Ultimate Universe. Nope, he doesn't. Don't know why, but he doesn't. And then you have Amor being stabbed in the freaking heart by having heart to the chest. You have Hawkeye back in his normal outfit. Because why not? And then you have a little shocking thing possible happen. Loki stabbing Valkyrie. And then here's a shock ending for you that took 3 months to follow up on. Cap's like, Valkyrie! And she's like, sorry, Cap, I'm sorry. Shush, we'll get you to try skilling. Don't. For once, I'm okay with what I've done. He's coming. And Cap's thinking, oh crap. Who's coming? Frickin' Thor, he's been resurrected. And he comes on the top of the frickin' Christ building. He's like, brother, there will be blood. And he basically goes on a frickin' rampage trying to get to Loki for killing his girlfriend. Yep, he spends the next couple issues doing that. Yep, and battling a bunch of monsters. It's just so fun just reading this. Yeah, and then Hela's like, huh. Oh, by the way, Hela's no longer pregnant anymore. She's apparently off panel. At this point, she already gave birth to her son, Modi. And Valkyrie's like, where am I? You know this place. You were taken here once before. You know this place. You were taken from here once before. So apparently, Barbara Norris, who I should point out though in the regular 616 universe, I believe she was the original Valkyrie, if I'm not mistaken. And here she becomes an actual Valkyrie. This Valkyrie she was posing at. Yeah, this I thought was kind of weird. Like reading this, I'm like, okay, so a woman who's pretending to be Valkyrie ends up becoming a Valkyrie, an actual Valkyrie. Yes. And Loki, for some reason, is wearing his 616 attire. Yeah, believe it or not, that's the Jack. This is a variant of the Jack Kirby attire. Yeah, apparently he's gone giant size. Thor gets his hammer back. He basically kills some frost giants. He declares them the Almighty. And then basically issue 5 is the wrap up here. Yeah. Eventually it was free, and of course, you have Tony Stark finally show up. It's like, sorry, I gotta change my clothes. So apparently he puts on a Hulkbuster armor. Oh, by the way, they mentioned the Hulk is not reliable. Hulk's only appearance was part of the time between Ultimatum and I think it was Cataclysm, I think it was, where like the only appearance he made was in his own annual, where apparently he slept with Zadara. Yep. So Tony's gonna call down Thor, and then Loki is killed by frickin' Valkyrie. Yeah. So Loki gets killed by the very woman he murdered. Yep. And Thor reunites her. Is like, wait, your kiss. I know the passion. I know the passion, but your lips are gone cold. And Valkyrie's like, I'm now your world any longer, my prince. I serve Hela now as a true Valkyrie. And she says, Loki will no longer be concerned. In return, I have a favor to ask. Remember those mortals who vex you so? I was once one of them. Anything. If it will be anything to you, you purify your heart again for all mankind. You know, times like these, I appreciate part of shield damage. Why is that? Because now it's over. You guys gotta clean up. Yep, and then we see Black Panther, Kazar, and Shauna basically going away. Zadara going back home. And of course, Emperor training for the next day. And then we hit the first appearance of Modi. Yeah, that's his first appearance here in issue 5. He would actually later return in the first issue of the relaunch of Ultimates. Ultimate Comics Ultimates. And everything's like back normal. And eventually the Ultimates have a rematch with the Defenders, and that's it. By the way, the last shot is basically Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, and Captain America all going to take down Defenders. By the way, we have Iron Man in his 616 attire for some reason. Yeah, I'm not really sure why that is. Yep. Now, my friend Tibia was not a fan of this book. I love this book. This book was freaking awesome. In my opinion, better than Ultimatum. Because it's just pure awesomeness. Basically, yeah, it's weird that this book only lasted 5 issues. And then, like, excuse me, the next book that came after this was Avengers versus New Ultimates. Yeah, that's what happened next after this. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. It's a damn good book. Now, that's 2 books I reviewed by Jeff Lowe from the Ultiverse. If you're curious, though, what books are left by him from the Ultiverse? Ultimate Power, Ultra Comics X, and Ultimatum. And that's it. According to David Finch, the reason why Ultimatum turned I'll get to more on that, but man, this book, in my opinion, it feels like, though, it's like Ultimate 3, basically, without all the restraints. handed onto it. This book feels a lot better. The only problem with this book was the delays. To my knowledge, this is one of like 2 or 3 books Loba's ever worked on that I can think of that actually received delays while coming out. Because I think Ultra Comics X did receive some delays too, and that also lasted 5 issues. I will review that eventually, but not many of his books received delays. Like, why the heck this book came out once every 2 months, I have no idea. And why the heck it took a freaking year to release 5 issues. It's almost as bad as Warren Ellis's time on Karnak. It's very similar to that. Yep. So yeah, I'm not done. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry about the mic cutting out. It's just my laptop for you. Yep. But yeah, that's it, Sickle of You. Yeah, that's definitely going to be it for videos today. So tomorrow might be another Comic Corner and Shaman King. Okay? Next video. Bye.